Hey, what is up, everybody? So, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit nervous talking to you about this stock. And the stock, of course, I've already let you know that it's gonna be Chewy. Why am I nervous? I am nervous because, well, one, like I'm going into some information that you know I know a fair amount, but at the same time, I'm not the expert in the details that the layers behind the information I'm going to put out. So that's why I encourage you to do your own research. I'm also super fucking excited. I'm super excited. And I wasn't until I told my wife that I was nervous. I was like, man, I'm nervous about this video. But it's for multiple reasons. But the more I talked to her about why I was nervous, the more excited I got about the stock. And it's just insane. So before I get into it, I just want you to know that this is not a suggestion for you to buy, hold, or sell. I am projecting, information that is important to me onto social media. So I highly encourage you to do your own research. My strong suit is in my technicals. And then I am doing pretty well as far as researching the fundamentals when it comes to a company. And so far, I'm still batting 1,000. So I guess that's another reason why I'm nervous. I don't want to miss. But in the stock market, that's the name of the game. You don't get everything right, and just kind of got to own that. So, what are we going to talk about, right? I'm going to go over last quarter's earnings for Chewy, the expectations of Q4, which is coming up March 20th. Okay, some of the issues and future growth potential for the company, a little bit about its competition, and the technicals. I'm going to end it with that, okay? Also, I'm going to let you know how I'm moving with the breakdown of the technicals, okay? So, yeah. So, without further ado, here we go. All right. So, Chewy, who is Chewy? First of all, Chewy is an online pet supply company. I think of them as the Amazon of pet food, supplies, all that stuff, right? Now, I've been rocking with Chewy for a long time as a member or customer. I don't want to show you my address, but here you go. I got this in the mail. I mean, this might be proof positive that the algos are listening to you, because after I had posted that I'm looking into Chewy, I get this in the mail with a $20 discount on my next order. So if you're interested in that, just let me know and I'll send you the breakdown or the code or whatever to get the discount, okay? Pretty awesome site. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Anyway, so I've been rocking with Chewy since it was trading at $40 a share. It was me and another queen in the Discord that we would always be talking about it, always trading it, high, low, all that stuff. It had a nice range in which we were playing options. I also was an investor in the company at the $40 range. So I was happy in that area, thinking that it was going to rocket, and for some reason it didn't, right? You got COVID and all this other stuff, and then this was one of the lagging stocks that kind of pulled back, and then it just had a steep decline. I don't know exactly what it was. I didn't go that deep into that as far as what brought it down, but I have my theories. We'll get into some things, whatever. Okay, so Chewy at 40, I was excited. Chewy at $18, I'm ecstatic, and I'm going to load the boat personally. All right. So let's just get into it. Q3, they had an estimate EPS of negative 0.5 cents, negative 5 cents. I'm sorry. When actually Chewy, I'm sorry, beat expectations by 21 cents or something like that. So it ended at reported at 15 cents. But they also reported a net loss of $35.8 million. Okay, and there's a couple things that happened as to why they reported that net loss. So they did miss on revenue by a little bit, but nonetheless they still were as far as revenue, their growth was up 8.2% year over year with $2.7 billion. Okay. So they did report profitability with adjusted EBITDA, which is the earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, and amortization. Now, if you want to look into that, go for it. But essentially it's the operating profits as of the percent of revenue. Okay, so but that improved 3% versus 2.8% last year. Okay, so that being said, they also reported that they gained market share from customer acquisition. So there's a lot going on. All right, so in Q4, they have an estimate EPS of negative 0.5, so negative 5 cents. Okay, for the quarter last year, this time they had an estimate of positive 4 cents. Okay, so I don't know what's going on there. I don't even understand how in Q3 they had a negative 5 cent estimate, and then they crushed it with like 15 cents. So how do you do that? Like, what are you doing as far as analysts, like coming up with these numbers when the company clearly has momentum and they're gaining, market share. They're gaining clients, they're growing, right? They're reporting all these positive things, and no one has really seemingly lost momentum coming out of Q3 going into Q4. Everybody's worried about all this economic issues and or whatnot, but that has not slowed down anything. So the consumer spending, they thought there was going to be a reduction in it. Well, there was a little bit of a reduction, but that did not hurt a lot of companies. Like, so consumers were still spending money. Like, things may have slowed down, but it didn't go the opposite direction, right? If anything, it kind of evened out a little bit, but nobody's losing money, right? In that sense, consumers aren't spending less. They're just not spending as fast of a rate as they were before. Okay, that's the difference. So anyway, I'm suspecting, and if my percentages are off, let me know. I'm calculating from a negative to a positive. I'm not no math whiz, but at the end of the day, I'm suspecting a 300 to 480% miss by the analyst. So or beat by Chewy. Now I know this is a stretch. Even I could be way more conservative and say 100%, and I mean that might entice you just the same as 300 or 480%. But this is just what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that their EPS is going to be reported at 21 cents versus the negative 0.5 cents, and I have various reasons for that hypothesis. So, but I could be wrong. Anyway, so not only that, I also think the revenue is going to be a beat. Right now, they are saying that the estimate revenue is going to be 2.79 billion. I think they're going to be closer to 2.81. Again, there's reasons behind that, and I'll get into the why. Okay, so why am I interested in Chewy? And I'm going to go into some things about the company, but and I'll work on my order of doing this, but I'm just trying to just do things off the cuff, and I just have some little notes here that I'm looking at too. Okay, so why am I interested in Chewy? A couple things. One is undervalued. One thing that I learned watching KG's videos, for those new that don't know, that's Keenan Grace. Okay, so he said that revenue times 3 is what the market cap should be, right? So if I'm looking at that and doing the math, well, the current revenue for Chewy is $11 billion, right? Times 3 would put that, of course, what, 33 billion, right? Well, what's the current market cap of Chewy? $7 billion. What? That's crazy. That's absolutely insane. That tells me that this company is severely undervalued. That is amazing. What I see in Chewy right now and how far undervalued it is the exact same reason why I loaded up on Disney. Not just Disney options. I loaded up on Disney stock shares, and I got into Disney at $88. And I still hold almost 200 shares of Disney, and I should have loaded up more because I knew I was right. But whatever, right? So I did that, and I'm so happy that I did. Disney, again, is that one company that did not fully recover from pre-pandemic highs. So Chewy's the same way. Chewy has a long road to get back up to $40, but $40 is still not even where Chewy should be, right? So, in my opinion, so I'm loading the boat, regardless of how this video comes out. Based on everything I've seen, that's just what I'm doing. Anyway, so $7 billion market cap when it should be about 33 billion. So I'm like, hold up. How is that possible? What's going on here? Guess what? I looked into the short interest. I'm like, okay, well, these numbers aren't computing for me. So what's the short interest on Chewy, right? I don't even think y'all can believe this. And please, somebody in the comments, let me know if I'm wrong. Let me know if I'm off by 5%, 10%, 5%, whatever. I did my research. There's multiple sources out there. Maybe my source isn't the best source. I don't know. But please correct me if I'm wrong. But Chewy's short interest, they're showing 25% of the float being shorted. 25%. I just told you guys that SoFi was trading at 17% short. Is being short at 17%, which is high, right? And SoFi has 3.3 days to cover something like that, which SoFi is set up perfectly for a potential short squeeze because they are reporting profitability on top of that. Chewy is at 25% short. That's insane. That's absolutely maddening. So again, I'm super hyped about that because here's a good company with good fundamentals that is showing growth and is showing innovative and creative ways in order to stay relevant and increase their market share with what they're doing. I'm going to get into that. Now, again, I urge you to do your own research because my hypeness is for me, and I'm just sharing it with the world. So please, please, please leave a comment if you have anything to add, anything to add value to what I'm saying, or anything to challenge what I'm saying, because the only thing that you're doing is helping me be better. And it's just going to make me want to do more research and then get my facts better. Okay, so that's it. I encourage it. All right, so that's that. So with Chewy, okay, biggest opportunity for Chewy is expansion, right? Their current competitors is Petco. That's their largest competitor is Petco. And what's the difference between Petco and Chewy? Well, Petco has brick and mortar stores, right? Chewy does not. Petco does have an online presence that's pretty solid too, but Chewy is primarily all online. So I like to think of them as Walmart versus Amazon, right? Walmart, brick and mortar store with an increased online presence. Walmart has definitely adapted quite a bit in order to be more competitive against the likes of Amazon, right? Walmart's not going anywhere. Amazon's not going anywhere. Two juggernauts existing, doing creative things in order to stay afloat or just to be profitable. Well, what we did see is Amazon, just so you know, we did see Amazon come up with these little pop-up shops where people can just walk in, grab stuff and go. And then like your phone's just automatically just, it's your check in and check out as long as you have your phone on you. So, I mean, Chewy could do something like that. Who knows? Whatever. But anyway, expansion. The big thing for Chewy for expansion that they're doing is pet health, okay, pet health care. And I would go, so that, and what they're doing is called Veterinary Clinic Complete Pet Care. That's the name of like what they're doing. They have their own website or whatever, and they're essentially getting to the medical aspect of animal care, okay. So they are by doing that, they are grabbing the market. They're disrupting that part of the market. And what's cool about it is that they already have a pre-existing client base. They have a huge foundation of loyal customers. They do things like send birthday cards to your pets, your dogs, your cats, your turtles, what the heck ever you have. And pet lovers love that stuff, you know? So they do things like that, and their online presence, their customer service, all that stuff is on par. And I can contest to that because I have a Chewy subscription. Well, not a subscription. I use them sometimes. I used to use them a lot more than I do now. But nonetheless, so that, right? So by doing the pet health care options, right? That would boost their loyalty, and then the spending of the customers, okay? So outside of that, for future growth, expanding into those veterinary services, and they'll be having, like, their targets would be they'll be targeting more of a comprehensive pet experience. Okay, so it's not just your food, right? It's, you know, the medical food that you might need for your cat's urinary issue, you know, like whatever, right? They are doing several things on their end, such as hiring vets. So they are doing that as far as expansion, right? So they're hiring vets, and then they've also stated that they've been expanding in that category. And their last earnings, they did a lot of talking that suggested that they're really committed to this. So because it's so new and so early, I can only imagine how much of a boost that it'll give its business. The problem is that it's so new and so early, and they have not really released any data, right? Like, we don't know a lot of the information, the analytics. We don't have access to the KPIs or anything like that. The only thing analysts can do is look at their the retention of their current customers. But until we get those actual numbers from Chewy, I guess we're all kind of in the dark. But if I was a betting man, I'd say that they're probably doing pretty well, right? Because they're actively hiring vets, because they're opening locations, you know, or whatnot, and they're partnering with people. So all those things, okay. So between that, disrupting, being a disruptor in the customer experience, and then also the tech integration with what they have online and their systems, I think they're going to be a juggernaut. So now, what are the potentials? I also think that AI is a potential for Chewy, right? And AI is just a big word that's thrown out there, and anybody that's talking about AI is pretty much, that stock is getting pumped. We're in the world of AI right now. So I was just thinking, like, okay, well, how could Chewy use AI in order to improve their stock, right? So Chewy collects tons of information from buying. They can figure out buying habits, customer preferences, the health info of their pets. They can do personalized recommendations and predict customers' needs and optimize marketing strategies. They can do AI bots that could provide 24/7 support and offer personalized recommendations. Like, so the possibilities are endless as far as what they can do in order just to become, or in order to enhance their consumer experience. Just think, you have a pet and you're just sitting there, like, they're sick in the middle of the night, right? Like, what do you do? Like, who do you turn to when everything's closed, right? Or if you live in the middle of nowhere and you don't have a local vet. I know those are like one-offs, but nonetheless, it's still like, that's a convenience. And when a consumer has convenience, that's buy-in, right? You 100% have me if you make my life so much easier, okay? So those are just a few things that I know about the company, what I expect with the upcoming earnings on March 20th, and then a couple of things that would lead to the future growth of the company, which is important, right? Like, how to get that revenue up, how to become more profitable. But here's the deal. because that vet service is so early, I think the moment that they report information on that and that's showing some type of strong growth, like it's just like it's undeniable, right? Like, so the shorts can only short for so long, right? Like, you're 25% short right now. Like, what happens if they come back and they say, well, the vet services is has increased our market share by XY% and our revenue by XY%? Well, holy crap, you just added a category to your business that's going to grow it exponentially, right? So, anyway, I'm excited. All right. So, but let's get into the technicals, right? So, family, I just realized that the first half of this video is 20 minutes. My bad. I got to figure out how to shorten it the heck up. But anyway, let's get into the technicals, right? So, the technicals, I wanted everybody to know that at one point, Chewy was trading at just above $120. And that was like February 2021. So, yes. But shortly after, it pretty much started to fall down in March. Okay? So we're coming up in March right now, and we'll see what happens. But anyway, it's been on quite the fall, right? So I was looking at Chewy in this range. Okay? I was trading options. I was buying shares. And then eventually I just got out of the play because I just didn't know what was going on. And then I also didn't do a lot of research into the fundamentals of the company. I just kind of knew who they were, and I was a consumer, so I was like, okay, why not? But anyway, neither here nor there. Right now, they made their way all the way down to $18. They've fallen all the way to about 16. What's this right here? 1578 is falling to. So here's how I'm seeing Chewy. I'm getting in on Chewy Monday. Okay. I'm going to dollar cost average into the position for stocks. And then I'm eventually going to start buying into leap options. The specific option contract that I'm looking at, I have no idea yet. But once I do, I'm going to post it on Instagram more than likely. So if you don't follow me on IG, just find me at Stocks4Rell. And that's where I put the reels and the stories up when I'm making some moves, okay? Especially when it's in relation to what I posted here on YouTube, okay? So right now, we've seen that Chewy bounced and retaken 1652. And as of right now, it's on an upward trajectory and bouncing from that double bottom, okay? We see that the 5MA is crossed up above the, what's that, the 20, I believe? And I'll have to check and see what the 200 was. But yeah, the 21. All right. So right now we have some positive momentum. Now, I'm going to hop in right away. However, if Chewy falls below 652, I'm likely going to cut because I just don't know where it's going. Okay? I'll cut it. And if it retakes 1652, then I'll hop back in. But I'm just not going to hold on to a falling knife. Right. So got to be smart. So as of right now, around 1763, I'm going to be looking for Chewy to do a little bit of a pullback to 1763. If I see it bounce at this level, then that's going to give me some confirmation that that I'm okay to enter some calls. Right now, technically, it's a little soft in my opinion, but it's an early entry, so that's what I'm going to do. Okay, a stronger entry is going to be 1878, and a more stronger entry is going to be 1967. Now, everybody, do what you want to do, but the ideal time to look into getting into options would be right around there. But I'm not waiting that long. I'm going here. And I suspect this to run quite a bit. Okay? So, anyway, outside of that, I really don't know what else to give you. Right now, we see a double bottom. Right now, we know that there's 25% short interest. Right now, we're seeing strength toward, like, looks like we have some potential strength towards the upside. Now, of course, when you look at double bottoms, you look for the neckline. And you technically want that neckline to be broken, which would be 24.85 to see some real confirmation that you're on a bull run, right? But I'm just going to go with my gut, right? And I'm just going to be smart, and I'm going to dollar cost average into the position until I just don't want to do it anymore. Okay, so but that's what I see. I do see Chewy headed back to the $42 level. Beyond that, I don't know. That's going to come with a lot more earnings and then more information or details coming from the veterinarian service programs they have. So if you have questions, let me know. March 20th is the earnings day. I'm dollar cost averaging in every day from now until that day. Okay? But yeah, this is Stocks for Real. Out.